there, how is everyone? I hope you're all well on this fantabulous Friday. That's it, it's Friday, we made it. We got through the week, we survived it. We're all survivors, and you're looking absolutely amazing. Little bit bomb damaged, ain't we? But we got there. I'm a little bit late to the party this time, but to be fair, it's because I uploaded like 3 videos yesterday, plus the live I think was uploaded after midnight, so that was like 4, and I thought, well, even if I do a video, nobody's going to know about it, because YouTube probably won't notify about it, so I have purposefully held off, but I'm glad I did, because also, Brian Harvey, XE17, he's been doing videos on the Liam Payne case as well, and he hit the nail on the head with something which we're going to touch on in a bit as the video progresses, to do with old Rog. Did Brian Harvey call it? But anyway, what's happened? Well, most of you, I imagine, already know what's bloody happened, so I could have just had a day off, really. I could have called it a day, couldn't I? But I know that you guys like to get my take on it, get my spin, so we're going to go into it and have a look. So what are we talking about? We're obviously talking about Liam Payne case. Let's go on to here. So what's happened? There's been some arrests. Now, originally, it was noted that no one had been charged. They'd been arrested. And I think what's important to understand here is, because of the size of this case, because of how much in the public eye it is, it's going to demand some answers. There's going to be a lot of people who are waiting to see how this plays out. A lot of people, and they've kind of boxed themselves in a bit of a corner, like Brian had said, because of the narrative that they've gone down the route of. That story is going to mean that they're going to have to bring that to a conclusion, because you've got 2 avenues to go down. That is, you bring it to a conclusion and appease the millions of people who are going to need appeasing, or you're on the world stage looking like you're a bunch of fucking idiots, and because you can't find out what happened. Well, he was in a hotel, and the hotel workers were seemingly involved, and this, that, and the other. Anyway, let's touch on what they're saying about it. Then we'll touch on what we think is actually going on here. So it says Liam Payne, 3 charged in connection with death of One Direction star. Prosecutor's office says. We're going to have a look in a second at a local newspaper and how they're reporting it as well, as that obviously differs from how we're getting fed it. The prosecutor's office said Liam Payne was not fully conscious or was experiencing a state of noticeable decrease or loss of consciousness at the time of the fall. The verbiage used in here is a strange one, because I'm guessing what they're talking about is, if they've got footage, you're going to know, like they've said, was not fully conscious or was experiencing a state of noticeable decrease or loss of consciousness at the time of the fall. So I'm thinking about this in terms of, so in order to say this, you're seeing something, you're watching something, or that's what you're claiming to have done, because they've obviously claimed that they've got video footage of the fall itself. So I'm thinking, what are you seeing here? Because you can't bullshit a bullshit, you know what I mean? Many people have spoken about when people faint, and I said yesterday, do you know what I mean? You don't faint and fucking somersault like you're in a circus over a 4-foot high rail, do you? You just kind of collapse on yourself like one of them slinkies. You don't that railing would have been over half of his body. He wasn't 8 foot tall, he's 5'10", and that railing was probably about 4 foot high. So, you know, even if he'd have been in front of it and fainted, he'd have gone down. And again, I think it was Brian Harvey who potentially said about, if you've fallen off there as well, even more would suggest, okay, let's just say for some bizarre reason he faints and goes over the railing. Why is he so far away from the building? It's like he was fucking jettisoned off it. And again, Brian Harvey had said, it's almost like you've got 4 people and they've launched him over. And let's not forget something that was a very, very important piece of information, which I think some people have overlooked, and that is, in the call that was made to the law enforcement, they had specifically stated it was morning. Yet this was supposed to have happened in the evening. So it's a fucking bizarre one. It's a real bizarre one. And do you know what I mean? There's just something that sits very, very uncomfortable with me. But anyway, let's get on with it. Because obviously they're now saying 3 people have been charged in connection with the death of One Direction star Liam Payne in Argentina. The public prosecutor's office in the country has said. 31-year-old pop star, we know what they're saying. And the prosecutor ordered the arrest of 3 and charged 1 with abandonment of a person followed by death and supplying of the evil pink powder. So Brian Harvey had turned around and said he don't think that this is anything's going to come of Rog. I think he potentially said he don't think that he's got any involvement in it. And it's interesting that in the aftermath of this, and obviously people have speculated, I had considered potentially that it was him, but he has actually spoken out. And this is what he is saying. If I can get that frigging thing off the screen, get that over there. So it says, Liam Payne's close friend Rogelio Norris last night denied abandoning his former One Direction star in the hours leading up to his death. Speaking exclusively to Mail Online, Mr. Norris, known as Roger, or on this channel known as Rog, denied being a suspect in the 31-year-old's death and rubbished claims police had raided his home in his native Buenos Aires. It comes as Argentinian prosecutors probing Liam Payne's death confirmed the arrest of 3 suspects who are now under formal investigation, with one being an unnamed friend of the late pop star. So if this isn't Rog, then who the fuck is this? Who is this? They've not named them. Well, they've not named any of them, which, that's obviously the way they go about it. Whether we will get a name at some point, I don't know. But if it isn't Rog, then we're saying that someone's an unnamed friend, unless they're referring to this friend as being one of the hotel workers who they had classed as being the one who had struck up a relationship with Liam and had been specifically told not to take anything into his room. To which it's been said that he then ignored that. A description given by the authorities appeared to indicate Mr. Norris, who had accompanied Liam in the days before he died, had been charged with abandoning a person, followed by death. The individual in question has been charged with being complicit in the supply of the crazy pinkness. Both crimes are punishable by a prison sentence of up to 15 years on conviction. However, Mr. Norris has slammed claims that he was under investigation connected to the One Direction star's death in an emotional statement shared with Mail Online. So he's basically saying that it ain't him. There's a picture of him there. Trying very hard to look like Liam Gallagher. Another one there. Looks a little bit like a drunk Liam Neeson. Fuck me, his head's red, isn't it? What's that say? Sorry, valet is full. Obviously that is the hotel. But yeah, we've got some weirdness going on. But anyway, let me just get rid of this and then we'll go to this article here, which is from the Buenos Aires Times. The prosecution, led by Andre Esteban Madrea, said that the investigation had revealed illegal conduct, which had led to charges being brought against 3 people, whom it did not name. It said one of the trio had accompanied him on a daily basis during his stay in Buenos Aires and was charged with abandoning a person who later died, as well as supplying him with the evil pink powder. The second suspect is a hotel employee accused of twice supplying Payne with naughty stuff, A third person is also accused of supplying him, which on 2 days before his death. So this is being now pushed like this was an absolute 4-day bender. Immediately after Liam Payne's missus leaves, he's getting on it. That's what they're going with. They're absolutely going hard in the the mice away, the cat's away, the mice will play. To be fair, nowadays it's probably the other way around. Mice and cats. Talk to me about cats. Where are they? Over there. So it says, in total, 9 raids were carried out in relation to the case, said the authorities, while dozens of testimonies were taken from hotel staff, relatives of who? Friends, medical professionals, psychiatrists, biochemists. More than 800 hours of video footage from security cameras was investigated as part of the probe into the singer's death. So I'm guessing that the cameras had the capacity to work absolutely fine. So what we've heard about the cameras being shut down just before this all happened, is that true? Is it not? We don't know, because nothing else has come out. Again, something that Brian Harvey had said. There's nothing on social media. Even some of these people who have come out, these witnesses, and said that they saw specific things, they're nowhere to be fucking seen. Not one person, not one leaked video, not anything whatsoever is being shown of Liam Payne in any way, shape or form in the state that we're being pushed that he was in. And apparently it's now looking like they're basically saying that he was literally on a 4-day bender that resulted in him passing out on the balcony and falling over. But then you've got this friend who is involved in doing something and then leaving him, and this has resulted in him falling. I just can't buy it. The more that I read, the more that I look into all of this, it's just weird. It's weird. Payne's telephone was also investigated, with his chat messages, calls, and social media posts analysed. Prosecution ruled out. They've said that there's no way that he did it, and the physical intervention of third parties as the cause of Payne's death. So they're saying that they've ruled out anyone else being involved in the actual thing itself. I can't say it. I don't buy that. How would you know? Payne's death, saying that the injuries he sustained were compatible with those caused by a fall from height. If he'd have been banged round the head inside the room or slapped about in the room, how can you determine if he's then swan dived off of the balcony that he didn't have injuries, unless it's clear that they're on that footage and he's not injured? But then you would have expected some of them injuries to be apparent if he's turned his gaff over. Do you know what I mean? If he's smashed his room to pieces, including smashing the TV and everything, then he would have, at least some of them injuries would have been sustained in the room, would they? But again, the room was just the gift that kept on giving. It was like a golden goose, wasn't it? All of everything just laying out there. I think cops call it an orgy of evidence. An orgy of evidence. But my takeaway from this is, look, the world's watching. The world's watching, and they are going to be demanding of a conclusion. They're going to want people held accountable. The downside is this happened in Argentina, not in the US, not in the UK, where Liam would have been a more notable figure in the US. He would have been a more notable figure in the UK, so he wouldn't have been able to have gone to a hotel without everybody being mobbed, and there being videos and images of him fucking everywhere. It just happens that he's gone somewhere that it seems that there was a degree of anonymity which has allowed them to do this. And I feel that it just stinks of preempted. It stinks of preempted, because what we're saying now is that Liam was fine, absolutely fine. His missus apparently got fucking bored, and some people have turned around and said, well, I can understand, they weren't supposed to be there that long. It had overran by a few days. He was going to play polo or whatever. She'd have probably just been watching. Fuck me. They're young. They're supposed to love each other. They're supposed to be heading into getting married together, actually getting married. He was in Argentina for the sole purpose of, not sole purpose, but one of the primary reasons for being there was to acquire a visa that he was actually going to do. That process was going forward, moving forward. It's just he had been honest about his past, so they had demanded some additional checks to be done, which he had done apparently and been deemed as being fine. And they're trying to say, well, I can appreciate why she'd have gone. Well, I can't appreciate why she'd have gone. I've been on holiday with my partner, and she's not ever turned around and said, oh, I'm a bit bored, I'm going. We go on holiday for 2 weeks, whatever, and we last the whole 2 weeks. Have any of you been on holiday with your partner and they've said, actually, I'm a bit bored, I'm fucking gone. I'm not buying that. I just can't buy it. It just don't make sense to me. I can't compute that people who are young, supposedly in love, going to get married and going abroad together in order to obtain a visa that would facilitate in them living together in the US and that happy ever after and all that. And she gets to the point where she's like, nah, I'm gone. And then, not like they're now trying to say, basically, is she on the plane? He's got his binoculars. Liam's like that. She's on the plane. I can see. She's gone. Get straight on the phone. Lads, I want some pink juice. And then they all come round and start feeding him loads of stuff. And at some point, he goes mental. But I saw something, right, that was a bit odd. Let me just see if I can find it on here. It said that he didn't, it tried to say that he didn't know what was going on. Or he didn't seem to know what was going on. Let me see if I can find it. I think it was in here. Like I say, we've also got the issue here is where there have been some witnesses who have come forward, who have basically said that he was fine. Literally, we looked at a photo yesterday, didn't we? That it was supposed to have been taken about 45 minutes before the fall, and he looked fine. It just doesn't make sense to me. I can't fucking find it now, but it was along the lines of that he didn't know what was going on. Basically, he was like fucking as if he was surprised at how he felt. I thought it was in this article. But like I say, it was along the lines of that he that Liam Payne appeared to be in a... And I'll tell you what, this is what I'm talking about here. Just to clear this up, people have been talking about like the devil's breath situation. That, right? And that's how that read. I'll see if I can find it later, and I'll probably pin it in community feed. I had a few different articles up. I thought it was in this one. But yeah, that would suggest to me it's almost like he doesn't know that he's being fed what he's being fed. And again, this goes hand in hand with did he know what was going on? You know, if the hotel have all of a sudden shut the cameras down, is that because he is questioning whether someone's done something to him without his knowledge of it inside this hotel? That's the vibe that I'm getting with this now. Yes, he very may have had these substances in his system, but that doesn't mean that he intentionally administered them to himself. And if that was true, that statement was true, that he seemed to be behaving in a way that he couldn't understand what was going on, and then you've got the cameras shut down, if that was true as well, I can't help but think that, again, you're going down the route of, was he fucking stitched up? Was this something about obtaining money from him? Was it about just trying to rob him, and it was people within the hotel and that? But then this friend situation throws another spanner in the mix, which then seems to suggest that it was a bigger ploy. The plot is thickening. Let me know down below what you think of it all, and I will continue to update you as new information comes out. So there will be 2 videos that come out planned and just keep your eyes peeled just in case notifications don't work. And also, in the pinned comment down below, I'm going to pin a link to Brian Harvey's free gift for you for Christmas. If you're a lover of music and if you like a bit of nostalgia and want to show some love to Brian, go and do that. Like I say, check out the pinned comment. You will not be disappointed. And I will catch you all in the next one.